This is Mike, NoStressMike.com, and talking about the trying to be moral even after you've done immoral acts. One of the things, the reason I'm even talking about all this, you've heard me say the weak will perish, and that is a fact. If you're physically weak, you don't have your medication, you don't have anybody caring for you, you're probably going to perish. If you don't prepare, weakness is not being prepared, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to react to stuff. You're not prepared. You're probably going to perish. In other words, you're walking down the street and three muggers, and if they decide they want to kill you, you're probably going to perish unless you've prepared. You know what I mean? So, but the weak don't prepare, and so then the weak will perish. But also, that also applies when it comes to perish. The strong, the prepared, will die. It's not really the same as perish. They will die. And the reason is, doing the morally correct thing sometimes puts your life on the line. And sometimes you die. Being moral doesn't mean you're going to have a guarantee of a great life. It has nothing to do with it. This is why I've got a kind of an up and down relationship when it comes to law enforcement. And that's one of the big points right there is, are they doing what they do because it's moral, or is it because that's an order? Somebody has got the authority over them and they recognize that authority, so they're going to do immoral acts. But for them, they're going to blindly follow because I was ordered to do it. This is where I talk about if a law is immoral or unconstitutional, it's not a law. You don't have to go by it. And I'll put it this way. You don't have a moral or constitutional duty to go by an immoral or unconstitutional law. To me, it's easy for me to say this. And the reason is I understand that. And that's why I'm making the video. I'm trying to get you to understand God, we the people, and the Constitution. Out of all that, God is the only one that has the authority over you. The rest of it, you have given up. You have given that authority to the law enforcement personnel. You have given that authority to the military personnel. In war, when I'm going in war, if I'm in the service, I'm active in the service, I am part of the group, the Marines. We are going against whatever it is. The reason we're killing each other, we're trying to show the other that we have the authority over them. That's why I say you can die. And there's nothing wrong with dying. There is a lot wrong with living on your knees to an authority that you have given them the authority over you. There is a lot wrong with that. That's no way to live a life. Now, and that applies to all aspects of your life. This is why one of the things, there's a difference between man and woman. Like my wife, she didn't have authority over me. I didn't have authority over her. But we shared the same morals. And that morals was that we are partners in life. There are times we are going to have to sit back and look at our partner and say that partner has got the authority over us. And when that time comes, that means we blindly follow. And now sometimes we make a mistake on that. And then now what we do is what my wife and I did. We talked about it. When she sat back and let me take the authority, and it turned out not to be good. And then she questions me how we got into this situation and all this stuff. Because now she is just immoral as I am when I did something immoral, and she just sat back and allowed me to do this. That's what makes it a partnership. And when you're young, you make a lot of mistakes. Hopefully they're not going to be all that immoral. Probably a lot of our mistakes, and I'm not sure if moral or immoral is the proper way of describing it, but raising the kids, there was times we had, that's probably one of our biggest disagreements was with the kids, but somebody had to take the authority. And I didn't always do well when we first got married. And she did much better than me. She made much less mistakes than me. The difference is when she gave that authority to me, whether it was raising the kids or making financial decisions or whatever it is like that, we knew we were in this together. But we talked about a lot of the stuff. So then as the relationship grew, we made less mistakes. This is why I talk about the three-man militia, because the three-man militia is basically the same way. It's a relationship. The people in your group, whether it's 3, 4, or 5, it's not like you are some kind of a combat unit. No, you're not. What you do, what you've done is you've worked out a relationship with the others. You're able to communicate with them. It's not like you've got the authority over them or somebody in the group's got the authority over you. It doesn't work that way. Now it does on a project, on a certain project, because one might know more than the rest of them. Well, then that one's got the authority because he knows more. And it's easy to say that when it comes to we're going to build a bridge, and so this is what our group's going to do. That's easy, but it also applies morally. Because I've told people, when it's a shit hit the fan situation, Now, I know a lot of you all are thinking in the United States, and you know, if this is going to happen, or if this is going to happen, you know, this is what you're thinking of. What I'm talking about is when you're with me and we're driving down the road and bandits are stopping us, I'm going to have to make a decision. Are people going to die? Because one thing, I'm not going to give them money. You know, so if I'm not going to give a bandit money, that means I must have another plan, and I do. And if you're with me, you're gonna really be thinking, wow, what are we going to do now? Well, I know I'm not going to give you money. I'm not going to give them money. An example of that was in the United States, in the convenience store. It was my cousin's convenience store. My cousin wasn't going to give him any money. So my cousin was waiting for me to do what I had to do. And I had to take a moral act. And it ended up I got in a shooting with the street gang. Now, I could have died. That doesn't make it, well, I was moral, so that means you're not going to die. No, I could have died. But I prepared a whole lot more than what they prepared. And so that's why I was able to come out of it. Okay, time. I'm going to go for 3 more on talking morals. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.